It's not too late. Get on the hype train, people. How we doing? How we doing? All right, clear the smoke off. Get out of the way. How you doing? My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I want to talk about something. If you gamble on betting sites but don't know how to invest in the stock market, you're the problem in your life. I'm telling you now. You are the problem. Because the stock market has been the legal form of gambling in this country, and this oldest form, one of the most poetic versions of gambling that you'll see this side of the Mississippi. Get financially invested, because the more streams of revenue you have, the better your life will be. And that's all I'm going to say on that. It's not my goal to give you advice as it pertains to what to invest in, but educating yourself on this would truly make a difference for you. There's something cathartic about knowing that you can go a year without working because of the money you've made off of dividends alone. Just money that you are paid just to have the stock in your pocket. But to answer the question, it's not too late to get invested in Nvidia. At least I think so, in my personal opinion. 2 weeks ago, they did a stock split that split it from 1,200 to whatever the current price is now. I think the article mentions it in the comment section. I think it's $135. If you have $1,000, I would put $1,000 in it. And what is a split, just for people to know, is when they take one share of your split and split it for a nominated denomination. Usually it's 10, whatever number they agree on. But I think for this one it's 10. So right now you would be buying, if it was all split evenly, if you spent $100, you'd be buying 1/10 of the stock. But those new stocks and shares have been distributed to create more volume so that more people can invest, which would only make the company from the stock market grow. And a big misconception that I need to say here, just because the stock market is doing good does not mean the economy or the company itself is doing good. All that it means is that the people who hold have confidence in the company. Confidence and delusion live on the same block, okay? So if you make one wrong turn, one wrong move, you could end up at the wrong address. And that's a fucking bar. I should have been a rap battle underground star. The way I be spitting this hot fire. But enough of the adulations and tribulations towards me. What are we talking about here? Nvidia's eclipsed Microsoft as the world's most valuable company. Valuable is a poor choice of words here, because value includes more than just currency. I think the most profitable, or the most profitable would have been acceptable. But value truly implies that you have something to offer today, yesterday, and hopefully tomorrow. Let's find out if what Nvidia has been cooking up is actually going to be worth the story down the line. Because there's three reactions to have here. People who don't know anything about the stock market don't care about what's going on. People who are invested, but for financial gain purposes, who are only interested in the today's picture. And then the people who actually are going to use the technology that Nvidia is claiming to create to make more profound ideas happen. Truly fascinating situation we have here. Let's get into the details, shall we? Nvidia eclipses Microsoft as the world's most valuable company. I mean, clap it up. Story from Reuters. Noel Randwich and Annika Bushwas. I need to start saying the name of the authors who make this stuff. Give them their credit. This story dropped today. Nvidia market cap reaches 3.3 trillion as the stock rallies. Demands for Nvidia AI chip outstrip supply. This is a problem. Nvidia stock has nearly tripled in 2024. Tripled. That's 300%. June 18th, Reuters Nvidia became the world's most valuable company on Tuesday, dethroning tech heavyweight Microsoft as the high-end processors play a central role in scramble to dominate the artificial intelligence technology. AI is a scam, it's a scheme, don't believe it. No, I'm just playing. I'm being a doomer. It's not artificial intelligence. It's high-performing algorithms. We really need to course correct on all the damage we're doing by calling this artificial intelligence. It's just high performing algorithms. The more you know about artificial intelligence, the less impressive it becomes. And that's why this article is a glaring resemblance of what the lack of understanding people have about the market and technology. Shares of the chipmaker climbed 3.5% to $135.58, lifting the market capitalization to $3.35 trillion. So that is the current rate as of today at 5 o'clock. So if you have a few $100s, absolutely look into this. Shameless plug. Here's my Webull link, just in case you don't have no way to do it. Use that link and you'll get some free stocks to invest on yourself, and another free share once you drop your first $100. Just days after overtaking iPhone maker Apple to become the second most valuable company, Microsoft stock market value $3.317 trillion as shares dipped 0.45%. Apple stock slipped over 1%, leaving the value at $3.286 trillion. Here's a cross map of how they're doing. Green is Nvidia, blue is Microsoft, orange is Apple, and they're all meeting to a head. And the thing that you got to realize, this is starting from July of 2023, there's a level of stagnation that you see where they kind of ride themselves. While Microsoft has the overall, I think the AI talk really started heavily for these companies at the start of July. I would even say 2022, 2021, end of 2021. But what is causing this convergence of these actions? And it's because as it stands today, from January 2024, we started to actually see, based on the story we covered yesterday, those artificial intelligence start to cause a dip in freelance work, which causes an increase in revenue. The way they see these chips and these forms of artificial intelligence, the more chips you have is equivalent to having better, faster, stronger employees. That's really how they look at this. Their ideal situation is these chips are workers. So the more people have of them, the better, stronger, faster their system will work. That's the hypothetical belief, right? That's what people are being sold on. But the convergence is mad crazy. And don't let it trip you out that from March to May, Nvidia gapped people. They gapped from, oh man, I can't highlight this like my chart. They gapped people. This isn't on accident. Don't believe for 1 second that this is on accident. The bolstering of them talking about how AI will make your company more money is how they did it. Nvidia's stunning surge in the market value over the past year has become emblematic of Wall Street's frenzy, driven by optimism about emerging AI technology. Frenzy driven by optimism is such. I said it, and that's how you know I'm not capping. Like I do follow these things very closely, but it's a level of optimism that dictates how the stock market is run. How optimistic are people? How confident are people about a certain situation? The stock market is about the vibes, man. Let's just call it what it is. You feel me?
Oh yeah!
It's all about the vibes. You feel me? And if someone comes in here talking shit, you be like,
"You son of a bitch.
Why you hating, motherfucker? Like, shut up. Let me feel the vibes." While Nvidia rallies has lifted the S&P 500, which is my favorite stock index, and the Nasdaq to record highs, some investors worry that the unbridled optimism about AI could evaporate if signs emerge of slowdown in spending on the technology. Man, the people that wrote this article they're speaking facts. This is a great article because just like the crypto bros, the moment there's a sign that it's not what everything seems to be. Remember when the NFTs were everything? The moment the sign shows that they're not what they said they were, shit's gonna come to an abrupt stop. It's the Nvidia market. We're all just trading in it. That's a hell of a statement. Damn. So, and this is just to show you by the billions how they're being invested in. Tesla, the most volatile company, no company has even scratched 40 billion in trading. The closest is Tesla scratching 41 billion. That's truly remarkable. And if I was keeping it 100, while you can still buy Nvidia, I would not be thinking about any long-term contracts for the price of it right now. depends on how saturated. It's oversaturated. I wouldn't be thinking about any long form contracts if I didn't buy prior to May. Just my personal opinion, because this level of volatility from 2020, they've never seen this before, and it's all riding off of the capability of AI. That's a tough one to sell me. Nvidia also became by far the most traded company in Wall Street, with the daily turnover recently averaging 50 billion compared to around 10 billion each for Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. According to LSGG data, the chipmaker now accounts for about 16% of all trading in the S&P 500. Phenomenal. Nvidia stocks have nearly tripled so far this year compared to the rise of about 19% of Microsoft shares, which demands 4 top 2 of the line processors outpace supply. Tech giant Microsoft Meta platform and Google owner Alphabet are competing to build out their own AI computing capabilities. Another thing that makes this happen, a lot of people don't talk about the government involvement. Wherever the government is willing to invest, companies will thrive. We have the CHIP Act of 2024 that just got passed, and it got passed through a Senate and a House up until the point hadn't been able to agree on a single bill in 6 months. But the moment money became an option and Nancy Pelosi and Rand Paul and a host of other people were able to invest in these things, it was a go. So if you want to know where money is or money's going to go, just figure out where your elected officials are getting paid. It's such a crucial thing. It's such a crucial thing to understand who we elect, because Nancy Pelosi doesn't feel obligated to answer to you. Mike Corbin, all of those people, blue tie, red tie, doesn't matter. None of them feel obligated to respond or answer to you. And that should be an alarm bell. That a faceless company has more authority in our government than your voting capacity. As insatiable bull appetite for Nvidia AI processors, viewed as far superior to the competitors' offering, has left them in a tight supply, as many investors knew Nvidia as the greatest winner to date from the surge in AI development. What they say, give them the printer for free, sell them the ink at a cost. Nvidia has been getting a lot of positive attention and has been doing a lot of things very correctly, but a small misstep likely to cause a major correction in the stock market, and investors should be careful, says Oliver Pushy, Senior Vice President of WealthSpire Advisor in New York. Tuesday's gains lifted Nvidia stock to a record high and added over 110 billion to its market capitalization, equivalent to the entire value of Lockheed Martin. God damn, you didn't have to flex on them like that. Nvidia has been the company market value expands 1 trillion, 2 trillion in just 9 months, February, while taking just over 3 months to hit 3 trillion in July. So it's exponentially growing, which this chart shows. In a few months it made major grounds, and then in a couple of weeks it expansion. The sharp increase in analysis expectation for Nvidia's future earnings have outpaced a stellar stock gain, resulting in the fall in the stock earnings evaluation. Nvidia recently traded a 44 times expected earning, down from 84 about a year ago. LSEG data showed it increased the appeal for the highly valued stock among individual investors. Nvidia last week split its stock 10-for-1. This is what I was talking about. This is great. It was from $1,200 to $135. So what does all of this mean? What is this? So once again, if you're watching this right now, you're saying, oh, should I invest in Nvidia? First and foremost, you should go get a financial advisor. Let's say you can't afford a financial advisor. You know what's absolutely free? Picking up a goddamn Wall Street Journal book or something of that nature. You should be getting your information about finances from somebody that probably does it for a living. I don't do it for a living. I'm self-taught. I understand risk, and I'm a dividend investor. You want to know what a dividend investor is? It's the most boring version of investment. It's the lowest risk of investment. I get paid for just holding on to the stock, never trading it, never giving it out. I just hold it and they pay me for it. Nvidia, I don't believe it's a dividend stock. I haven't checked, but I usually hold about 70% of my portfolio is dividend stocks, and I own over 112 different types of stock. I would be remiss, though, not to tell my friends to go buy this. So much so that before I did this article, I sent the link that I just read to you to all of my friends in the text group. Too often in life, social economics dictate where and how we move in this world, and not to be fully aware or even to be remotely aware of how the stock market works is a detriment to yourself. And I know a lot of people have this fear, well, I don't have money to survive today. You're surviving. Take some risk. It's hard enough. Absolutely, I get it. And trust me, in a year or two, I'm going to have one hell of a story to tell you guys that's going to blow your mind. But the reason why I'm able to accomplish the goals about my company and setting standards and goals and things like that is because I have the ability to invest and use that money to do things that I wouldn't normally be able to do with my current salary. We're talking about, on average, a 13% increase. That's better than any high yield investment fund at a bank could ever do for you. But there are associated risks. But learning how to take risk is a great thing. The Psychology of Money, which is a great book that I read, really solidified that trajectory for me on how to handle this situation. But Nvidia making this move and making this change and having this money available and moving says two things. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How much of this tech that they are pushing for artificial intelligence is actually going to be optimized to do what people want to believe that it's going to do? By no stretch of the imagination am I out here stunning and saying that I understand or even know what Nvidia is cooking up. But we have data to support and numbers to support that the trajectory of technology improvements is a slow incline and not an exponential growth. We didn't go from having Game Boy Advances to having graphical capabilities of a PlayStation 5. It didn't happen overnight. It happened over a stretch of time. And if the stretch in technology is to be a reflection of the stock market, there is going to be a significant increase in time that we get from having Nvidia chips and having Nvidia based equipment and stuff like that all together. It's gonna be impactful to the technology world. But as it stands today, based on 2021 to where we are now in the stock market, artificial intelligence with this just a ramped up algorithm. There's nothing artificial intelligence in the name. It's just artificial intelligence in the name. It's not the actual component. It's just a ramped up, optimized version of search algorithms. What we got in 2021 compared to what we have now has not been an exponential growth. But what has been exponentially growing is the amount of energy just for us to make these small changes. How we're supplying these powers, where this data is going to be stored, the amount of energy it takes to handle these things, and I'm fascinated to see how the technologies, and once again, the benchmarks and the specs of that, there are people far smarter than I am. But if you're just a person who has a surface level of understanding, the more you learn about something, the less wow factor it includes. Hey yo, what's up? I see the raid. What's good, Mr. Sir? We have a pillar in the community giving his insight. Technically, CPU speeds went by Moore's law for more years in 2010, which means it doubled every 1.5 years. That was exponential, but it has slowed down these days. So, and if there's anyone's opinion I'll trust on this, Chris is the one. I'll link him in the chat in the video. His face will pop up here in the video. Go check his channel out. He speaks truth. But the fact that me and him even are on the same side of this, or he agrees to this point, speaks volumes for what a little bit of research. We're talking about I'm not out here building AI algorithms, but I've read enough articles and talked to enough people who know the science front and back to get a feeling that they don't think what is happening warrants the reaction of the stock market. And if we know anything about the stock market, it is not a dictator of the truth. It's a dictator of people's feelings, man. It's just a vibe check. You feel me? And if you don't believe me, take no further look than GameStop. The same place that gave you 30 cents for a game you bought for $70 a week ago is in the top 20 of best-selling stocks this year. And if that doesn't scream the stock market isn't real, then I don't know what is. But I'm interested to hear your side of the story. Like, share, subscribe. Give us some stocks you think you would buy in the tech field. Clap it. I'm interested to hear about your story. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. I love your faces. All right, we made it.